You know those actual like things. What in the films and they the actual click. Is it because they've got the time and date of, or like the time of the thing where they're trying to cut, so that when they go through, so they can keep the cameras rolling. And then is that right? And then they can go right. So they'll write down the time when they snap it, and they can go, that's the right clip we want. So they can easily go back and find it. Is that what they do?
That's really smart.
Is that right? I don't actually know if that is what it is.
Because I didn't know what it was.
No, neither do I.
I had no idea what it was.
That's just what I assume.
Yeah. No, that's really, really smart. Because I never knew what it was. But obviously they're going to always keep the cameras recording.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, because I was like, what's it for? I thought it was like audio sync. But no, it must literally be to show when the time and date is.
I don't know, but it's only because it's got the actual...
Because it's got it there and it's got it running.
Numbers on the front. I don't know what the numbers all mean.
It's like it'll have like take something. It's like take 1 or 100. And then it has the time of it.
Interesting. I might look that up later because I don't actually know if that is correct. That's just what
I
assume.
That sounds right.
It sounds right, doesn't it?
It sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need one of those. We should get one of those for this podcast. We just need to buy one and just snap every single time we start. That would be so cool.
We do not have the money for that. They look expensive.
Oh, we'll just
get a fake one.
We'll make one out of cardboard. We'll just get like that.
It won't have the satisfying click. When you make it out of plastic, then I'll go snap.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be such a cool thing to have.
Yeah, we better than our claps we did last time.
Let's do it again. No, I'm kidding. Okay, we're back. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello. The season is starting.
Yeah, it's lights out. It's lights out on the season.
It's lights out on the season. I'm buzzing for this.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
it's going to be really, really good. It's actually not. It's going to be really boring because Max is going to win everything.
Oh, please don't be like that again.
I hope not.
Not that dominant. Obviously, if he wins, okay, well, we're going to talk about our predictions, but it's likely he's going to win again. Let's just not let it be as dominant as it was.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would just be another...
At least something interesting, hopefully.
Yeah.
Like, I want a few races where, like the British Grand Prix was like a good race last year or something. I want a few more of those. There wasn't that many good races last year.
No.
There
wasn't that much exciting stuff to see.
Probably like Hungary, Brazil, British Grand Prix, Austria were like the 4 good races that year.
Yeah. And I love the...
and Spain.
I love the videos that people have been putting up. You know when they're playing the F1 game. So some kid will be playing the F1 game and just flying past the whole pack. Yeah. And then he'll just be like, making my way downtown. And he's like, this is Max during 2022 season. So he's just flying past
like
everyone.
Katy Perry firework. Just driving along like, yeah. I'm not going to sing it. I can't sing for the life of me.
Yeah, I'll whip out singing at some point.
Yeah, one point.
At some point.
But no, it's been start of the season. We've had pre-season testing.
We have, which was interesting.
Where's your head at after this?
Just so, for your expertise, because when I heard that pre-season testing was only 25 hours they're allowed on the track, was it, or 24? Was it 24 or 25?
I don't know the actual number of hours, to be honest.
Right, okay, well it's about 24 or 25, it's one of the two, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I've heard someone say that it's the most stupid thing ever when someone says that's not enough testing. But when I heard it myself for the first time, and I was like, they only have 8 hours one day, 8 hours another day, and then 8 hours another day or something like that. So 8, 16, 24, probably 24. To me, that sounded really short. And I was like, how can it only be 24 hours worth of testing? And then I heard this guy say, that's the most stupid thing anyone's ever said. It's more than enough time, blah, 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 blah.
It's not stupid.
But so would you say that it's enough time?
I think it's a good amount of time because you're spending the whole time trying something, seeing if it works. If it doesn't, change something, try it. So,
but you're not changing. You can't be changing aero like to the degree you might.
You're changing setup.
You'll be changing setup, but
you'll be testing parts.
Yeah.
You might have 2 front wings. You want to test.
So you might be changing the front wings.
Yeah. And lots of other parts. You might be changing the floor, might be changing loads of things.
Oh, okay, so they will bring loads of different bits and bobs.
Yeah, they'll bring loads. They'll bring everything that they've developed from the last season to this. And this is the first time they can test it on track.
Yeah.
So I think it's silly to say that they don't get enough time. No, they get too much time. I think it's
I don't think anyone said that there's too much time. I think I heard it and thought that's not enough time.
Yeah.
But then I've heard people say that that's a silly thing to say.
So,
I didn't say it to them, but I just heard that I've heard that people that have said that it's not enough time.
Yeah.
That's a silly thing to say.
So the less you test, like with anything in life, the more random chance you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So the less you test, potentially, like, let's say if you didn't test a lot, Red Bull could have completely messed the setup up and then been rubbish for the first part. And then when they got the race testing in, then it actually got good.
Yeah.
But so the less you test, the better it is for randomness. But at the same time, for the teams that have messed up, the less you test, the less chance they have of getting back in and improving the car, because they might have gone completely wrong at the first day of testing. They've lost it. Or they might get like a hydraulic failure for George.
Yeah.
And then you've just lost half a day of testing.
That's terrible. That's so bad.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll remember that for next time because, because also as well, I think if you've got a little bit less testing as well, it will create the start of the season will be just a little bit more interesting as well. Because if everyone has loads and loads of testing and then every car goes out absolutely flying,
exactly,
it will be less interesting than if everyone's still trying to work out their design, their aero.
Literally. Literally.
It's not. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It does sound like a good idea to have that amount of time testing.
Yeah, no, it's good, I think. But after testing, what was your opinions? Where do you think people are going to come? Should we go through your drivers' championship top 5?
My championship top 5. Okay. Well, I'll start because it's going to be less.
Let's go constructors first, actually.
Okay.
Well, who impressed you the most at testing?
Oh, well, we all know who impressed us the most at testing.
Yeah.
Because it's, Well, the Aston Martins were Alonso.
So Aston Martin impressed you the most?
Impressed me the most, considering where they were last season. Obviously, this is the big thing. Everyone's talking about it. They were 7th in the constructors, and now they're absolutely flying. And okay, so obviously that's not news to anyone. So that obviously they surprised me, but they surprised everyone.
Yeah.
So constructors, I think Ferrari won.
Ferrari won?
I think Ferrari won.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Ferrari won.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Red Bull 2.
Yep.
Mercedes 3.
And Aston 4th.
And Aston 4.
Wow.
I think Ferrari are going to be a lot more consistent this year.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I think they're going to be fast and I think they're going to be consistent.
Wow, that was the complete opposite of what I thought.
I reckon you put them down as 3 or 4, didn't you?
I put them down as 3 in mine.
Okay.
Wow, that's really surprising.
I think Ferrari... I genuinely think they're going to come out flying. I think they're going to be good this season.
See, that's like the complete opposite of what I thought.
Okay. So what's yours?
So I will hold my hands up. I thought that the Aston Martin hype train was too much, and I said that they're going to be the 4th best team come the end of the season. Okay. And I'm sticking by that because they're developing a new wind tunnel, developing a whole new factory. So they're only really going to be able to properly develop the car from end of this season next. So I think they're going to start strong and drop off and finish 4th overall.
Which is still a big increase from
massive.
7th.
Yeah, I think they're going to be clear 4th. I think Alpine will come 5th below them, but there'll be a big gap between Aston and Alpine. I think Aston will be in a sort of like their own sort of like. They might be 3rd coming into the summer break, but they'll kind of finish 4th a bit slower than Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull. I don't see anyone beating Red Bull.
No. Oh, what, constructors?
Constructors.
Oh, I think Ferrari are going to do that. Okay.
So I don't think anyone beats Red Bull. I think Red Bull are going to run away with this constructors.
Okay.
I'll put Mercedes above Ferrari.
Yeah, okay.
Based on the discussions we had in the last podcast and how Mercedes said that it's going to be from like about race 5 that they're expecting to be strong. Mm-hmm. I think Ferrari 3rd. I think Ferrari will get a good number of pole positions, maybe more than Mercedes pole positions, but I don't think that they're going to be able to look after their tyres. I think their long run stints looked like they burnt their tyres out. So I think Ferrari are going to come 3rd.
Well, I reckon they'll surprise you. I reckon they'll figure that out.
I want to be surprised.
I reckon they'll figure that out.
I think they'll figure it out, but I think...
And I reckon...
Mercedes are going to...
I still think they'll have a stronger end to the season than start of the season, Ferrari.
Yeah, same.
And I think they'll surprise you. I'm hoping. This is a big, bold statement, and I'm hoping that it will come of...
Same. I think I think Ferrari will finish stronger, which is why I'm putting Ferrari above Aston.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Also, Ferrari's drivers are better than Aston Martin's,
True.
and Mercedes are better than Aston Martin's, and
Yep.
Red Bulls are better than Aston Martin's because of Stroll.
Because of Stroll, yeah.
Yeah.
Who has had some sad issues with his hands, hasn't he?
Yeah. Do you see him driving the car?
Yeah, he's really struggling, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's
Really
2 weeks ago had an operation on his hand, and he's in an F1 car driving it. Like that's crazy.
Wasn't it both?
Yeah, both hands.
Both hands.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Really impressive. I couldn't.
I'm surprised he's in the car. Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Surely, was that not something that they would have said to him? They'd have said, look, is it really smart for you to be going
They
out?
would have done a lot of testing, and he would have probably got to go ahead from the surgeons to be like, you can do this, just be careful. He's going to do better than a healthy Dragovic is going to do, because Dragovic hasn't really been in an F1 car.
Yeah.
So, even though Dragovic did win the F2 championship, I mean, Lance Stroll won the F3 championships, had quite a few years in F1 now. So, he's not as bad as people say he is.
No, he's not. He's not bad.
No.
He's not a bad driver.
It's just because his dad's rich and owns the team that a lot of people, I'm like,
Yeah.
But,
They think that he's only there that seat because
and he might put, I mean,
he might be.
he might be. Maybe a Vettel Alonso team would have been amazing.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah, but Alonso would have
6
been
championships between them.
Yeah,
That'd have been cool.
yeah. Okay, so I know you did say that you thought Ferrari. You were surprised that I said Red Bull and constructors, which I mean,
I'm not surprised with your order.
yeah, but I mean, I'm going to say you probably think that. I'm going to guess that your driver's number one is going to be Max then.
Yeah.
Because of the way you responded to my Red
Yeah,
Bull one.
yeah. Max will still be one.
Yeah. I think.
Oh, wait, so we're doing a championship now?
Drivers' championship.
Drivers' championship. Okay, no, you're first this time then.
Okay, I say top 5 for me.
Got
Max.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my Mercedes delusion, I put Lewis second.
okay. Carry on.
He's the GOAT. All right.
I've got my hat on. We are filming this, but for those listening, I do have my Lewis hat on.
Okay, I'm really debating this next one.
Okay.
Oh, what am I going to do? Leclerc third, Alonso fourth. I couldn't pick between two, but I'm going to go Leclerc third, Alonso fourth. You've convinced me that Ferrari are going to be stronger at the second half of the season.
Thank you very much.
So I switched. I've written it down here as Alonso third, but I'm going to go Leclerc third,
Okay.
Alonso fourth, Perez fifth.
Okay. Mine's different.
Yeah, what's yours?
Max 1,
No surprise.
Leclerc 2,
Okay, yeah.
Perez 3,
Perez 3.
Sainz 4,
Really?
Hamilton 5.
Really?
Well,
Wow.
that's my prediction now.
So that's not even a bad prediction.
Hi guys, this is Future Adam talking. Just a really quick one. We figured out after listening to the recording that it is mathematically not possible for Ferrari to be Constructors' Championships if I put my top 4 drivers as Max 1, Leclerc 2, Perez 3, and Sainz 4. Because that mathematically can't happen. So I'm changing that, and it's going to be... go on then, I'll put Sainz third, Perez fourth, Leclerc second, Max first, and Ferrari's still going to win the Constructors.
Bold, you donut.
Yep. Anyway, back to... was it normal scheduled recording. Goodbye.
That's probably if I was to bet money.
I just think the Ferrari's going to be quick. I think the Ferrari's going to surprise people.
If I was to bet money, I would.
Without surprising people, because it's still Ferrari.
Yeah.
Surprised without being a surprise. I think they're going to be fast.
You just don't think Mercedes is going to be.
I don't. I really don't. I just don't feel confident. There's not that feeling of like they're just going to come out and start absolutely, running away with it. And I just don't think they're going to be as consistent or as strong as they've been in the last few seasons. And
Fair enough.
I just don't. Which is sad because I want them to.
Yeah, you're wearing a Mercedes hat right now.
Wearing a Mercedes hat,
yeah.
so
it's very bold of you to
but
say
I really think those Ferraris and Red Bulls are going to be too quick. I really
That's
do.
fair enough. I don't blame you.
And then and then Alonso I'd put after probably. I didn't know between 6 and 7 George or Alonso.
I thought George and Alonso. Yeah, I couldn't really decide between Perez or George or Sainz, but I thought if I'm putting Red Bull as first,
Yeah.
Perez kind of has to come 5th at least.
Yeah.
For them to win the constructors.
Okay.
And then I'd put George, and then I'd put Sainz, and then Stroll.
And then Stroll. Okay.
Yeah. Which I think is, I think that's fairly standard. Who would you say? So we were talking about this earlier. We were like, let's try and come up with a bit of a like shock season. Who do you think is going to have like the best season? Who's not in like the top 4 teams, so not including Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Alonso?
I think Logan Sargent is going to get he's going to do well in that Williams.
In comparison to Albon, or just...
Yeah, in comparison to what we expect from Williams, I think he's going to get a lot out of that car. I think he's going to be good.
See, I don't.
Okay, go on.
I don't. I think he never did well in F2, never did well in F3, never did well in Formula Renault. Okay. And then he's in F1 for sponsors, I think. But I'll give you the fact that Alex Albon, I don't rate as a driver.
No.
Because he, in my opinion, has only got in because of his sponsors as well. I think he's like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Really nice. I would never say to his face that he's a bad driver. Because he would just be like, oh, I'm so sad.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like,
you just want to give him a hug.
Hold him and give him a hug.
I'm so sorry, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think he's that good.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I think Logan Sargent's going to surprise you.
Yeah. But you know what? He probably...
For driving that Williams, I think he'll surprise you. I still think he'll be at the bottom, to be in the bottom 5 all the time. But I just think... I think he'll drive well. I think he'll have a good season.
Who do you think's the stronger driver pairing you've got? So I was having a discussion with one of my friends about this. Who do you think's better, Alex Albon and Logan Sargent, or Yuki Tsunoda and Nick De Vries?
There's going to be a big pause of silence because I don't know.
Because you don't know. I think Nick De Vries and Yuki Tsunoda are better because I like Nick De Vries as a driver.
Yeah, and I don't mind Tsunoda either as a driver. So I'd probably agree with you.
You'd probably go with them. My mate, he's called Charlie. He would go with the Williams pairing, which is surprising to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's our shock one. And go on then, your shock one.
So my shock one is I think Ocon is going to outperform Gasly and have a good season. I think Ocon...
Is that a shock? Would you say that's a shock?
I think people underrate Ocon.
Mine was a shock. Logan Sargent doing well, considering all the things you just said. That would be a shock.
So I have another controversial prediction.
But Gasly, I don't think it would take him a little bit of time to get used to things.
Yeah, Okay. If that's not shocking enough, then I do have another controversial prediction that I was going to get to in a bit.
Okay.
But, and I've said this for months now, and everyone I've told to, they're like, no, this isn't going to happen. Oscar Piastri, over the second half of the season, so from races like 13 to 23, or 22, I don't know how many there is this season.
23.
It's 23. So 13 to 23, or 12 to 23. Oscar Piastri is going to outscore Lando Norris.
That is bold.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
It's a good one. And I honestly think that he will.
Especially at quali yesterday, he struggled.
Yes.
He struggled. That's a big shout, mate.
Yeah. And so we're recording this on the Sunday just before the race.
Yeah, the race will start.
Piastri's just qualified 19th. Lando Norris is 11th. I want to say. I don't know if his lap time got deleted, but so.
Wow, I don't even know what to say to that. I genuinely don't know what to say to that. I mean, look, I think I agree with your friends. I don't see that happening.
Yep.
Personally.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening.
Everyone doesn't.
I really don't.
Yeah. Everyone's like, you're completely wrong. And I'm like, I think Lando will still finish ahead of Piastri in the standings. Because I think that Piastri is going to take a long time to get into it. But in the second half of the season, I think Piastri is going to outscore Lando.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I could be wrong. And I like Lando, so I don't mind being wrong. But I just think Piastri is good.
Talented.
Piastri is
Which
good.
he is.
And he likes an understeery car. And that McLaren is as bad as it is to drive. It's definitely understeery more than oversteery. So
sad. McLaren is going to be sad this season, isn't it? I think everyone's thinking that it's going to be a sad time for McLaren this season.
Yeah, and they also don't have they're still rebuilding new facilities.
Yeah,
which got delayed because they ran out of money. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough season for McLaren.
It's going to be 7th or 8th, I reckon. The constructors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go through my constructors, I think I put, so we obviously got up to Aston, and then I put Alpine, Alfa Romeo, Haas, McLaren, AlphaTauri, Williams, I think. So I put McLaren in 8th.
In 8th?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Bahrain qualifying was sort of, I don't know, you were having issues watching it, weren't you? So I don't know if you saw this, but in Q2, it was so close between everyone. I thought it was going to be a great season.
Oh, it definitely does look close. Or did look close.
I think Q3 happened.
And then Q3 happened, and then the Red Bulls just flew.
Yeah, and everyone only had one pair of tyres left. Leclerc had 2 and didn't even do a run. So, because of that...
So this is race prediction for today.
Yeah.
Go on, Em. So
I'll go first.
No, hold on, I'll go first this time, because we've been swapping.
Okay, yeah.
1 Max.
Yep.
2 Leclerc.
Okay.
3... I can't remember what I put down, it's on my phone. But 3, I'm going to say... Perez.
Yep.
Do you want me 4 and 5th?
4, 5, 6, 7. Because there's 3 top teams and Aston.
Okay, then I'll go... Hamilton.
In 4th.
In 4th.
So you've got George, Alonso, Sainz, and...
Then I'm going to go...
Left.
Alonso.
Yep.
Then George.
Yep.
And then Sainz.
Damn.
That's what I'm going.
Sainz low.
Sainz slow today. Okay.
But, so mine goes Max first, 20 seconds ahead of the rest of the field.
Okay.
Followed by Perez. No, okay. Max first by 10 seconds, followed by Perez, who's 7.5 seconds ahead.
Yep.
Hamilton third.
Yep.
Leclerc 4th. That's going to be very close. That's going to be really close. I reckon Leclerc's going to take an extra pit stop and be chasing Hamilton, who's going on a longer stint.
Okay.
Then George, Alonso, Sainz.
So we both think Sainz is going to be slow today.
I think I could switch around Alonso and George. I think Sainz is going to have to play second fiddle to Leclerc, which might compromise himself. But I think I could switch George and Alonso around.
I could too.
Yeah.
I could too, but that's what I'll go for at the moment. Basically, I'm going into this race hoping that Hamilton does really well.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping that Leclerc has a flyer because I want my predictions to be fairly right.
Yeah.
So I want Leclerc to do well today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be cheering on Leclerc, even though I still want Hamilton to do well. And what do you really want to happen? What do you want to happen? What would be the best situation?
The best situation
right now.
So they're on the grid. Everyone knows the Red Bull Honda pulls away so well.
Yeah.
They have such a good launch system on their car. So, but Perez finally gets a good start. Max and Perez going in. Max turns. Max goes to the inside. Perez goes to the outside. Max goes deep.
Okay.
Perez is coming in. Tries to switch back. Clips the back tyre of Max.
Yeah.
Perez's front wing goes. Max gets a puncture.
Yeah.
They both have to pit. Through goes Hamilton.
Through goes Hamilton, yeah. With George hot on his tail.
No, so through goes Hamilton with Leclerc. Leclerc's on the fresh soft.
Okay.
They have a bit of a ding-dong. Leclerc passes Hamilton.
A bit of a what?
A ding-dong. Little battle.
A bit of a ding-dong?
Little ding-dong.
I've never heard that one before.
Little door knocker. Little battle.
Little battle?
I made it up, the door knocker thing. I don't know what that means.
Okay, they have a little bit of a ding-dong. Oh my god, that's so funny. Right. I'm going to use that all the time. They're going to have a little bit of a ding-dong.
A little bit of a ding-dong. And then... right, okay. Leclerc starts to pull away.
Yep.
Hamilton goes long. Leclerc pits. Okay. And then it's a bit of a battle like that. Because Perez only broke his front wing, he's down in 15th. Max is all the way in last. They're both piling through the pack.
Yeah.
and then Alonso L Plan third, and then safety car catches Alonso out. Hamilton going long also gets screwed over by that. Leclerc is perfect for him. He was going short. He's on fresh tyres, so Hamilton's had to pit again, loses the position. And then 5 laps at the end of like full-on qualifying laps, and then Hamilton gets him on the second to last lap.
Well, that's been our podcast for the day. That's what we want.
That was the exact race. It was happened exactly like that.
It did.
It was crazy.
And
I won thousands of pounds betting.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to second that.
You're going to second that.
I'm just going to go. Yeah, I like that story too. So I'll
You'll go
agree
with
with that one.
It's because we're recording this just before the race.
We are.
And then we're going to, for you guys, it will just be like a stop and then a start. Like you won't hear anything. It will just kind of cut to us after the race crying.
When Max wins again.
Yeah. And Hamilton goes out.
Yeah, and Hamilton hits the back of George. They both go out. They both retire the car.
Yeah.
And
Hamilton has to retire his career.
Yeah, and has to retire his career, and that's game over.
That's more likely.
Yeah. That's the more likely outcome.
But yeah, so you guys are going to hear us in a bit. You did say you had a question for me.
The question is, for those who don't know, there's something called Room 101. It's not a real thing, but basically something that you put into Room 101 is something that you want to completely discard, get rid of, because you hate it. And you're like, right, I hate that thing. So, I don't know, I hate Samsung phones. Honestly, if they could get wiped off the face of the earth, I want to put it into Room 101.
Yeah.
So that's what Room 101 is. There's a TV show about it. So that's what it is if you don't know.
Yeah.
So JJ, if there's anything in F1 right now...
Max Verstappen. No, I'm joking.
I second that. Anyway, if there's anything in F1 you want to put into Room 101 that isn't Max Verstappen, because you're not allowed to do that, what would it be?
And it has to be like a full... Because I could easily say 2021 Abu Dhabi or 2007 China. But
no, I don't like the answer. A proper answer.
A proper answer.
A proper answer.
Okay. So something that will actually have a long-lasting impact.
Yeah. A serious answer. Like you think, they should never have changed the car regulations, or you'd like the engines to change.
Smaller cars. Lighter cars.
Elaborate.
So the cars are really wide, and really heavy. And when I grew up watching the sport, they were a lot smaller and a lot lighter. This is quite a popular opinion, so I'm taking quite an easy answer out here. But a smaller, lighter car, I think they were just more fun. Like watching them, it used to literally look like they'd be going straight and then suddenly they'd turn, whereas now they're just a bit lazier, they're heavier, they're wider, so it's harder to pass in Monaco and stuff. So if they were thinner, smaller, the lap times would go up, so the lap times would be slower. But, lighter, thinner cars. There's only so light you can go because of how heavy the engines are nowadays with the hybrid systems. And I'm a fan of the V6 hybrids because I think that that's important for the world. Maybe a V8 hybrid might be good, but that might be too heavy. But smaller, lighter cars is what I want.
Okay, well that didn't really help. So in Room 101, you're throwing in the wide, big F1 cars.
Yes. Okay, yeah. That's what I'm throwing in the wide, heavy F1 cars.
Okay, that's what you don't like. Fair enough.
And with that, we'll see you in a sec.
Enjoy the race.
Enjoy the race. So I'm going to slap you in the face really hard.
Okay. Don't do it.
I'm kind of like...
Don't do it so hard.
Okay.
Be careful.
Just going to get out.
Okay. Okay.
Is it recording?
Yeah. Oh!
I didn't want to go too hard. I was like...
Still hurts though, it still hurts. Well, that definitely woke me up. I'm ready. Would you like a slap in the face?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
How much did it hurt?
Not that bad, but I'd still rather not be slapped in the face.
Alright. That's got me back into it. Okay, I feel awake now.
You feel better now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad that I could be of service.
I think that we should slap you every episode.
Maybe. Okay, well, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Anyway, it's lights out.
It's like, well, yeah. I mean, well, we've already... We weren't gone.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Sorry.
Well, yeah, we just got back from watching a race.
We just got back.
And boo.
Yes, we weren't overly happy with
I think it was a good race, apart from for P1 and P2.
Yes, because they were just so far ahead.
Yeah.
It was just, there was no competition there.
Yeah, it was
a
like,
bit sad.
Yeah, it was really like boring for P1.
How many seconds was he ahead after 2 laps?
After 2 laps, he was 2 seconds. After 5 laps, he was 4 seconds. And after 7 laps, he was 5 seconds ahead. And I was like, what is the point?
What is the point? Perez had a horrible start, didn't he?
Yeah, as soon as Perez had a bad start, I think I even was like, oh, well, that's the race over.
Yeah. Perez had a stinky start.
Yeah. Because they're just going to run away in clean air. Like, they're not going to... The Red Bulls are so fast.
Yeah.
So, but, Alonso did well.
Alonso did very well.
Great race.
Really good race. He was pushing Hamilton really,
crazy.
Right to the tip, to the top. To the tip, to the top. You know what I'm trying to say. He pushed him a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think that he'd be able to sustain that pace and that aggressiveness.
I agree.
For that long.
I thought Lewis was going to take the place back at one point. I was thinking he'll grab this place back.
Yeah. And then the TV directors cut away when Lewis had DRS. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't think he'd have the pace to go on and on and on and on.
What did you say about when he was passing? Was it Sainz? Alonso was passing Sainz and he didn't take the inside line. He stayed on the outside around that corner. Yeah,
that was so. There was a lot of really, really good battles. Like the Alonso Hamilton battle was amazing.
Yeah.
A bit like Rosberg, Hamilton 2014 sort of vibes, or Leclerc, Verstappen 2022 vibes.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I don't understand this, but so obviously they go into Sainz and Alonso come into the tight downhill left-hander where people lock up. And then all Sainz had to do was take the inside, and it's such a hard... You can't overtake on the outside on that corner that comes up. I don't understand why Sainz stayed to the outside. It doesn't make sense to me that a driver wouldn't...
Is that something you've noticed a lot of drivers do, or it's just that one specific moment?
No, it's something that I've known from... I've noticed a couple drivers just lapse of concentration when they're defending. And obviously I'm not in the car, so I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know that obviously there's a lot going on. But people like Bottas, people like Sainz, they sort of have these lapses in concentration when defending. Alonso would not... Alonso is very on the ball when it comes to defending. He would not have let someone take the inside into that corner.
Yeah.
And you watch the onboard as well. Sainz has plenty of time to move to the inside. And then you see him spot it late, and then he tries to kind of push over to shallow the line for Alonso to make it harder. But as soon as you get on the inside of that corner, you've won that corner.
Yeah.
Maybe Sainz thought, you know what, I'm going to lose the position either way. But it's still, he still needs to try, I think. But
and Alonso's move on Hamilton, was it?
Brilliant.
What a move that was.
Brilliant move, yeah.
So he was on the outside and then kind of cut back in, didn't he?
To take the inside.
To take the inside. It was a hell of a move.
So much more pace in that car. It was an unreal move.
Yeah. It was fantastic, wasn't
it? He almost did the same to Sainz.
I think he wanted to.
He wanted to, yeah.
He wanted to.
But that car looked fast on the hards. It didn't look very fast on the softs. At the start of the race, Hamilton was able to keep the gap. He didn't look very fast on the softs.
Well, they're both on the two-stop strategy.
Yeah. Both on the two-stop.
So softs and then hards.
Softs and then hards.
But Hamilton did pit earlier, didn't he? Because he wanted to stop the undercut.
Yes. So Hamilton pits earlier for the second set of hards.
The second set.
Because they were at risk at the undercut because Alonso was about 1.6 or something behind.
Yeah.
And Hamilton was like, "Why are you pitting? I have fresh tyres."
Yeah.
And then we've got to watch for the undercut. So and Stroll pits the same lap as Hamilton and literally just undercuts George Russell on that next lap.
Yeah.
So it showed that they had to they would have just been undercut, they didn't pit him. So I don't think there was any way Lewis would have finished ahead of Alonso.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it would have been interesting to see Leclerc versus Alonso because Leclerc was a decent chunk up the road from Sainz.
He was.
Before
Leclerc was flying. Leclerc was having a good race.
He was having a good race.
It was really sad.
On his own in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. He was just wasn't fast enough.
Had a little battle with
little
ding dong with
a little ding dong
with Perez. But Perez was on the But Perez was on the softs.
That's never not going to be funny. We've been making that joke ever since we went to watch the race.
Yeah,
Look, they're in a ding dong.
Do you know? I'm sure I've heard it before somewhere. I want someone to tell me if they've heard it before.
Okay, if any of you have heard it before, let us know because I've not heard it. It's funny because we're going to use it all the time now.
Yeah, it's always
going to be officially our thing.
Yeah,
it's going to be they've had a little ding dong. So thank you for that, mate.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Paul Leclerc. Anyway, back to Leclerc. Paul Leclerc.
Yeah.
Was it hydraulic or was it mechanical?
I think it was hydraulic.
Was it hydraulic?
It was hydraulic issue. The way it just sort of lost power, but didn't instantly just shut the whole thing down, suggests hydraulic, which put an end, like when you're having a hydraulic issue, then they just cut the engine, sort of thing. So something would have cut the engine because of a hydraulics issue, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to watch the post-race interviews or anything.
No, but we will. We'll do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on then. So, what was your standout driver apart from Alonso? Because that's what everyone's going to say. So, other than Alonso, what's your standout?
Yeah, because it's so obvious Alonso is the best driver there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Lance Stroll.
Okay.
Because of driving with such an injury to his hand.
Yeah.
And to put it in
toe.
And toe. Yeah. And I mean that's gonna hurt when you're driving.
100%.
Yeah. To put it in sixth place, like fair play, he's done really well.
Yeah.
Like, fair play to Stroll. He's done well.
Fantastic.
Wasn't like crazy off the pace from Alonso.
No.
So
that Aston Martin's fast.
Yeah, Aston Martin's on the hards, especially the hard tyres, they were fast.
Yeah.
Switched them on very quickly. Switched them on really quickly.
Yeah.
So I go Stroll as my other best driver after Alonso.
I don't disagree with that. I'd like to give a good mention to Logan Sargent, just saying, because I said earlier on that I think he's going to be a surprise this season. And where did he end up?
12th. Behind Albon.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that, yeah. Still.
He still lost to Albon. Albon came 10th or something.
Still, I'm impressed. That was his first race. Flying. What? This guy is flying.
Gets beaten by his teammate. Flying.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, okay, fine. But still, I think he did. I think he's an honourable mention.
Yeah.
Because he did well in his first race.
Yeah. Take nothing away from Max Verstappen either.
No, oh yeah. Great race.
Great drive. People underestimate how hard it is to just sit at the front on your own, and it is still hard.
Yeah, to just consistency to do that lap after lap after lap.
Build the gap.
And concentrate the whole time, even though you're so far ahead.
Mm.
Yeah.
How many seconds he finished? Like 15 seconds ahead of his teammate or something? Which is not too far off my 10-second prediction.
Not bad, that good prediction.
To build that over someone in the same car on a similar strategy.
Yeah.
You know, if Max had got the bad start and was behind Leclerc, Max would have passed Leclerc quicker than Perez took. Perez 100%. Took ages to get past. So
100%.
Takes nothing away from Max Verstappen. It was just boring, and I'm worried it's going to be a really boring season.
Hugely.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll see.
You never know. There might be some crazy upgrades.
Yeah. Saudi's a very similar track though. It's going to be a Red Bull 1-2 at Saudi.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Aston 3 again. No, but possibly. I mean Leclerc would have come third.
Yeah. He was quick.
So I think Leclerc can still be there.
Well, that was in my race prediction earlier for this race. I think he would have ended. What did I say? P2.
Yeah, you thought P2.
I thought P2, and he probably would have ended up P2.
You think he would have ended up P2? I don't think he would have got close to.
Oh no, not past Perez. No, he'd have ended up P3.
Yeah.
No, he'd have ended up P3. Well, that's a good point. I'll tell you what was depressing was McLaren today.
Yeah.
That was depressing.
That was Lando. I don't even know where. I actually don't know where Lando finished. He probably finished last. He had 5 pit stops, didn't he?
5 times.
Yeah.
Imagine it. I mean, well, they tried with Piastri. They tried to change the steering wheel, didn't they?
And the car just wouldn't turn back on.
So yeah, to be honest, it was a bit of a horror show for them. Like a big horror show. They were really struggling with any reliability, speed, pace. They could be right at the bottom of the championship, constructors this year.
Yeah. You think about it, in 2011, Jenson Button goes through the pits 5 times in a McLaren, wins the race. Lando Norris through the pits 5 times, loses.
Yeah.
Very different, very, very different races.
Yeah, very different situations.
Canada 2011 was an unreal race, but, very different, but kind of funny to think that a McLaren's done 5 pits in a row before.
Yeah,
in a race
still
before.
managed to win.
Yeah.
God.
And then now look at them. But, yeah, a bit of a shame that Piastri, bit of a shame for Piastri.
Yeah, so we didn't really get to see much of him, really, did we?
Someone else who's impressed me was Gasly.
Yeah.
But he made up. He started really far back, finished 9th. Good race from Gasly, I think.
Yeah.
Ocon, on the other hand,
Yeah.
he had the worst performance out of anyone.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, what he misses the yellow line he has to line himself up with in his start box.
Yeah.
So he gets a 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
Don't know what the mechanics were doing. They did not wait 5 seconds. It was a weird one.
I think they just got a bit ahead of themselves. I think it was just probably a bit of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And the guy just went, I'm just going to start taking the front end, taking the front
like
wing off.
Screwing the, yeah.
Yeah. That wasn't 5 seconds. What was it, about 3 seconds? Probably about 3 seconds.
It wasn't even close to 5. It wasn't like 4.9.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close. And usually you do 5 and then leave a touch of buffer. Whereas this is 3. Like, this is like 3 seconds in he's done that.
And I think the rest of the guys helping take the front wing off just kind of followed suit. They were just like, just doing it.
Because he
just start
started,
doing it.
and then they were like, "Oh, do we start?" And
then,
so then he comes in to serve his 10-second penalty, and he speeds in the pit lane.
It's so
and he's
bad.
like, he's been doing the same thing. It's like, well, no, you went into the pit, past the pit line at a faster speed you were supposed to. It's a pretty black and white penalty.
Yeah,
it's not like
these rules are very. Yeah, it's not. These are not rules. These rules are not difficult to follow. Really, it's pretty basic rules. Sit there
literally
for 5
black
seconds,
and white. Yeah,
then you can go. Yeah, it's pretty easy stuff.
Standard stuff.
Yeah, standard stuff.
You're kind of like, really. Like 10th place for the Williams.
10th place for Williams is great.
I mean, I thought they were going to be the worst car in the grid. It was a very mixed grid. Thinking about it, everywhere apart from the top 2 was very mixed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very mixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you still have your general split between the top.
Yeah,
teams
you
and
have like the
teams.
top 4 teams now.
Top 4 teams now. Wow.
Well, do you just have a top 1 team?
Top 1.
Is it a top 1 now?
And then a 2, 3, 4 together.
Yep.
Like a best of the rest.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, that's how dominant it is.
Yeah.
So depressing how dominant it is.
But the good thing is, for the first time, there's not a stone dead last team.
No.
Which is interesting. When was the last time that's happened? There's always a stone dead last team, so I'm very surprised.
Who would you say if you had to say now who you think that stone dead last team will be at the end?
At the end of the season?
Yeah, if you had to be like, you reckon.
I mean, I said before this race, I said Williams.
But do you think that now?
Yes, I'm going to stick with Williams.
I would stick with Williams too.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to go with AlphaTauri to be different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
I'll
enough.
go with AlphaTauri.
I'll stick with the Williams because that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Do you see Hulkenberg actually doing very well this year?
He'll do better than Mick.
He'll do better than Mick, but can you imagine? I can't imagine it being a huge step up.
No,
Massive step up.
All they need is just someone to be consistent, which Hulkenberg is, and be able to develop the car as well. That's all they need. They just need someone who can give them loads of feedback on the car, develop the car, and just be consistent and not crash. Because every time you crash, you're wasting money.
Yeah.
So you just need them to not crash.
Do you think they will stay friends while they're together as a pairing, or do you reckon all the old
Drama
will, peak its early, its ugly, what's it called? Peak its ugly head. Do you reckon that will happen, or do you reckon they'll be really civil?
Magnussen is, I think, a different kind of person now. In the Netflix one, you see Magnussen's like a bit more of a family man now, and I think you can see that in his driving. He doesn't take as many risks.
Yeah.
It happens to Sebastian Vettel. I was going to ask you an interesting question. Do you think Sebastian Vettel would have been as fast as Alonso in that Aston Martin?
No.
Same. I don't agree.
No.
I don't think it would have been.
No, I think Alonso's got a real drive this season too.
Yeah.
I think he's really, really determined.
Yeah.
To take a car that clearly is very good.
Yeah.
And make the most of it.
Yeah.
He was, because there were points today where he wasn't. He was he was taking risks. And he was getting very close.
Yeah.
And he was, touching distance. I mean, he did touch Stroll, didn't he? Well, Stroll
hit into Stroll, and he hit into Sainz.
And he hit into Sainz, so Stroll hit him. I think, like
almost him and Lewis. Like he had that wheel spin. It wasn't a clean drive by Alonso. It was clean, but not clean. Really, it was sort of like a bit wild.
It was wild. Yeah.
I really want to see him. Like Alonso and Hamilton showed that these two can drive so close together and not touch.
Yeah.
But I want to see like Alonso and Verstappen drive next to each other. I think that'll be an aggressive fight.
That'll be interesting because they will, because both of them will not let the space go, let the gap. They'll just. To be honest, I can imagine them just hitting each other in the end.
Yeah, I think it'll be like Max and Hamilton sort of thing.
Yeah,
and I don't think it'll be like that for the first few battles. But if Alonso was in a title fight against Max, I think they'd hit into each other all the time because Alonso's a very aggressive driver.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got that attitude, doesn't he?
And he's also like, this is probably going to be his last chances, sort of thing. You know what I mean? He's getting old.
He is 20 years yesterday.
20
in F1.
Oh, 20 in F1.
What?
I thought you thought it meant 20 years old generally.
No, he definitely doesn't.
Like he's definitely not younger than me.
He definitely doesn't look 20.
When his first race was 2003.
Yeah. 2003.
In Minardi.
Yeah.
4th of March.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was like so bubbly at the start, like, it's going to be a great season, and then come to the next bit.
Can't wait.
Oh, so Verstappen won.
Verstappen won, Perez 2.
Yeah, it's going to be great fun.
It's going to be boring.
Yeah.
But there you go. We'll be more upbeat for the next race.
Yeah, we're going to get false hope every weekend.
Yeah.
So every weekend we do this, it's going to be like a positive first half, depressed second half. So depending the mood you're in, you might enjoy one or the other half.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll try to keep it as light as possible.
Yeah, we'll try and be less sad next time.
Yeah. All right, sounds good.
Anyway, lights out.
Take care.